Hi, hello, I'm Sam Harris and I read, review and discuss fantasy and science fiction books, and today I'll be reviewing Time Locked Warlock. Go on, flip around. Time Locked Warlock by Shami Stovall. This is the first book in the Chronos Chronicles series. My extremely quick elevator pitch for this story is Dresden Files meets Groundhog Day and then make it so that it's not as horny as Dresden Files. I want to say up front, I loved this book. This is, if I had not read, I was about to say, if I hadn't read A Memory of Light last month, this would be my book of the month. But I actually read all of this in September. So this is part of my self-published September kind of series. So every single September I try and read exclusively self-published books, and I'm actually going to manage it this time, kind of. I did finish a traditionally published book this month, but that's not what this video is about. That video is about this particular book. So what's the concept? We follow the main character, who is named Adair Finch. He is your Harry Dresden-alike, I guess. His whole deal is that he is a warlock who's made a pact with the god of time, and he can essentially Groundhog Day himself at will. So he can choose a moment, mark it, and then always go back to that moment. So the daughter of one of his friends from when he was a big time warlock comes banging on his door at 4 a.m. Adair marks the time in the day so that he can travel back to that point in case there's like an assault or something like that. And she barges in, she's soaking wet, and she's like, "My parents have been murdered." So Adair instantly is like, "Oh shit, I can't turn back time and unmurder her parents." And eventually things transpire to the point where they both end up investigating this murder, which is magically motivated. I really liked this novel. I really liked the characters. So there's three main characters. You've got kind of a trickster spirit, you have Bree, and you have Adair. And unlike the Dresden Files, this is not a first-person narrative, but it's kind of from the view. It's like a third person, but kind of from the viewpoint of Adair. The way that his magic works is super interesting, and really allowed for a lot of smart humour, a la Groundhog Day, but it also allowed for a lot of really smart moments of kind of danger. So you never felt like, "Ooh, is he going to die here?" Despite the fact that we are told that, he can't rewind time infinitely, and also that if, for example, he's incapacitated in a way where he cannot click on his power, he can't scroll back to when he marked time. Adair also has one other weakness in this power, which is that if he passes 24 hours from when he originally marked time, he can't rewind that. So there's a lot of really smart restrictions on his power, which make it so that he's not invulnerable, and that he's not boring to read because he's invulnerable. So he's quite crunchy, really. He's really easy to kill. He's just a guy. He has a couple of other magical powers from lesser demons and gods that he has bonded with, and those also make for some really good action sequences. We've also got a kind of really interesting magical world community in Los Angeles where this is based, and Adair also has a really fun, well, it's not fun actually, kind of depressing. He's got a really well thought out and executed backstory, which really informs everything that the character goes through in the book. It informs a lot of his decision making and all that sort of stuff. It's really funny to see like more slice of life. Did I say slice? Slice of life. Slice of life scenes in the book, because Adair essentially has infinite time. He can keep rewinding and rewinding and rewinding. So he's like, actually, what happened to us on the last loop was really traumatic. I think we both need some time. And so they just take like a couple of weeks of like chilling out and like watching TV and playing video games and stuff. It was quite fun. Adair is also a really interesting character in terms of, he feels really relatable. He feels very real. He's a guy who's gone through a real tragedy and has kind of shut himself off from the world. I think that a lot of people can empathise with that. And especially the specific tragedy, which we learn a lot more about as we go through the book, which I won't spoil for you, but was particularly well done in my opinion. The other characters are also strong. I like the Trickster Demon, whose name I'm blanking on right now, but they were a lot of fun, and especially because they can like change shape, but they can only change into the most mischievous type of every animal. So like if they want to become a canine type of animal, they have to be a fox. If they want to be a feline, they have to be a black cat. If they want to be a bird, they have to be a pigeon. And so we do get a lot of pigeon and a lot of poo, a lot of pigeon poo jokes, and they all work very well. They're all funny. The one thing I wanted to also mention about this is the kind of reading experience. So it was an incredibly quick read. I read this book in like 3 days, which is maybe the shortest time it's taken me to read a full book in like a year. It's not particularly long. It is, you know, your average Dresden Files length, but it is really, really fun the whole way through. There's no lulls. The pacing is really good. It doesn't feel like too breakneck as well, because we do get those pauses I mentioned where they like sit and deal with consequences from previous loops, and kind of like problem solve what they're going to do on the next ones. And also the audio book for this is really, really fantastic. It has multiple narrators, one of which is Jeff Hayes of Dungeon Crawler Carl fame. He does all of Adair's dialogue. His voice that he's using is very similar to Carl, so you might not want to listen to this back to back with the Dungeon Crawler Carl book, because it might be a bit confusing. But I felt like the rest of the cast kind of differentiated enough from Carl. Also, I think Annie Ellicott is one of the other narrators, and then I can't remember the name of the actual narrator. So we've got like Annie Ellicott, who does a lot of the female voices, and Jeff Hayes does a lot of the male voices, but then there's also a third narrator who does the narration. And I thought that system worked really, really well. It made the book a lot more engaging. It reminded me a little bit of the Red Rising books, where the sequel books have the multiple narrators, but in this one you don't get the issue where you have, like in Wheel of Time, Michael Kramer doing his women's voice, or Kate Redding doing her men's voice, for example, which does in some cases pull me out of the storytelling. Like, if you know, when you see Kate Redding trying to do Matt, for example, often will kind of like snap me out of the moment a little bit. Whereas here, because you have consistent actors for each character, it really, really works well. The production quality of the audiobook is also excellent because it's Soundby Theatre. It's the same guys who do Dungeon Crawler Carl, so if you like those audiobooks, you'll like this one. The one other thing I want to say as well is that this isn't one of those where I'm like, you have to listen to the audiobook, it's the only way to experience it. Like, I really enjoyed the time that I spent reading the ebook as well. Ebook's available on Kindle Unlimited, so if you are interested in reading it and you have a Kindle Unlimited subscription, it's out there. It's reasonable. You know, it's also very reasonably priced. I think I'll probably be also picking up a copy to add to my Kindle library for future reading. So, that's everything. That's the entire thing. This is a bit of a shorter review than usual, and I'll tell you a couple of reasons why. Number one, I just want people to go out and read this book for themselves. It's a really, really good book. It's a lot of fun. It's really fast paced. And like I said, the audiobook is fantastic. If you're looking for an audio read, for example, gym, run, that sort of thing, that's where I listen to almost all of it, is at the gym or out running. And I was able to keep track of the story. I was able to really follow the narration and the flow just because of how well produced it was. It's also very, very well written, and it's very easy to kind of zero in on what's going on, even amidst the time loop stuff, which could, in some cases, be confusing for some people. The other reason I wanted this to be a bit shorter is because I'm trying out doing slightly shorter reviews, because I have had some feedback from some people that these reviews are a bit too long for them. I don't know whether you think that's the case. Please leave a comment to let me know whether you think that's the case or not. Also, please let me know if you're going to read this book. I've had a ton of people say they're going to, based off of my weekly updates, but hopefully this non-spoiler review, which gives you a bit more context and a bit more information around the story and what I think of pacing and all that sort of jazz, has given you that final push you needed. Also, one last thing to talk about is subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We've had a really nice explosion of subscribers since I announced that I was reading Malazan Book of the Fallen. If you're interested in this book and you read it, I am definitely 100% no ifs, no buts reading the sequels. Really looking forward to reading them. Don't know when I will get to them, but I'm really, really looking forward to it. I'll be adding them in probably with the Dungeon Crawler Carl books as like audio only experiences, not because the ebook isn't good enough, but purely because the audiobooks are really good. And when I'm reading books like Malazan, which I'm not going to be using the audiobooks for, I do need that audio read so I've got something to listen to in the gym. Thanks so much for watching. As I said, please subscribe, ding the bell icon, hype this video if YouTube has given you the facility to do that. Nobody knows why or how, but if you hype me up, that would be great. I would love that. I'd love to see my face on the hype leaderboard. Thanks so much for watching, and I will speak to you on either Wednesday or Friday. Not sure yet.